Hey guys, this is Sauer at UBR Tech, back with another video. Today's video is going to be how to remove, disassemble, and clean the firing pin for a SIG P365. Before I get started, I'd like to ask everybody to please subscribe. It helps my channel grow. And now back to the video. So some of the things you're going to need to accomplish this would be a 1/16 punch, a 90-degree pick, a 9mm bore brush on a cleaning rod, some patches. So these are optional. This is a cuticle pusher, and this is a cleaning pick, and this is another piece that's optional. I'm going to be using my SIG armor's block to disassemble the firing pin. It just makes life a lot easier. If you want one, I'll have a link in the description so you can go and get yourself one. So now that I have that out of the way, let's get on with making sure that we're safe. And how we do that is pushing the mag release right here. The mag comes out. We're going to pull the slide to the rear, and we're going to check to make sure there's no ammo in the barrel. So now we're clear. So now let's start to disassemble. What we're going to do here is we're going to pull this slide to the rear while pushing and holding up on this right here. This is your slide lock. Next, we're going to push the takedown lever all the way down to the 6 o'clock position like that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to pull the slide to the rear. Once we hear that click, we're going to follow the slide to the front of the gun. We could put this part down. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to pull the recoil spring out by pulling up like this and then out. Next, take the barrel out just like that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 90-degree pick and we're going to put it in here just like this. And this piece right here, we're going to have to compress downward like this. Once we have it compressed downward, we're going to take our pointer finger and we're going to slide the back plate off. This piece right here is the back plate. So it's going to look something like this. So compress, slide the back plate off. This piece comes off. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to compress this piece right here. So this way it'll free the firing pin to come out. Just like that. When you release your thumb, you have to be careful because this piece right here is spring loaded and we don't want this part just flying out. And there's our spring. Set both of those aside. In order to clean this part, you would put some bore cleaner down there, let it sit for a while, take your bore brush and then take it down there and just, basically go up and down like that. Once you've done that, you could take one of the patches, put it over the hole, and send the bore brush down again, go up and down, and that should clean it. Now, if you want to be really anal about it, you could put this over there again, take the cuticle pusher, go down, pretty much go around like in a circular motion, and that will get into like the edges and the hard to reach areas. Take your 90-degree pick, pull this out. You can see mine really isn't that dirty, so I really don't need to clean mine, so I'm just telling you how to do it. Once you've done that, make sure that this part is just bone dry. There's no oil in there at all. And then what you do is set this aside, and now we can disassemble the firing pin. So next we're going to disassemble the firing pin. And how we could do that is if you don't have a SIG armor's block, you could just use the table and you're just going to compress the spring down like this. But again, I'm going to use my SIG armor's block. You insert it into this hole. As you can see, it holds it in place, so this way the bottom part's not going to go left to right. Also, there's this little notch right here, where this piece will go in there, and it also makes it a little bit easier to disassemble and reassemble. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the spring and we're going to compress it downward, and then this black plastic piece is in 2 halves. So what happens is once you compress the spring all the way down, these 2 halves come out and then the spring comes off. So it's going to look something like this. So you're going to compress it down. These 2 halves come out just like that, and then it comes up like this, and then the spring comes off. This piece can now come out. Then what you do is you take the firing pin and pull it out of this black plastic piece. When you do, put that down, this spring comes off like this. That's it. You're done. So you're just going to wipe down everything just like this. Wipe the inside of this plastic piece. Wipe down our springs. Wipe off these little plastic pieces. And wipe down our last spring. And that's it. Now we have that all wiped down, we could just put everything back together. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our spring and our firing pin, and we're going to slide the spring onto the firing pin, just like that. Next, we're going to take our plastic piece and our firing pin and slide that on in. This silver part goes right into this channel right here, just like that. And then I'm going to put it back into my SIG armors block, just like this. Next, you take your spring and you place it over the firing pin, just like that. The next part, what we have to do is we have to make these 2 halves a hole, and then also the bottom part has to be in this spring. So it's going to look like this. So I'm going to put 1 half in here and the other half in here. It's going to look like that once it's compressed and all the way down in this area right here. So you're going to try to make these 2 halves look like this once the spring has been compressed all the way down here. So it's going to be really hard for me to show you what it's going to look like getting that in there once I compress the spring, because my fingers are going to be in the way. But I'm going to try to do my best to make sure that you could still see what's happening. So put the spring over the firing pin like that. I'm going to try to have everything ready. So I'm going to have the one in my hand here, and I'm going to compress the spring, try to slip this one in, and then grab this side and slip it on the other side. All right, so it's going to look like this. So compress it down, get this piece under, just like that, and then get the second part and put it under like this. Get it under the spring. And there you go. That's what it's going to look like. See how the spring is over the black piece now? And they also make one whole piece. Everything compresses fine. And that's it. Now that we have the firing pin put back together, now let's reassemble everything else. Take our spring and this little plastic piece. This spring right here is going to go into this channel right here. And there's only one channel. This has just a little half circle in it, but there's this channel right here. And all that's going to do is just lay in there just like that. You're going to take that piece and you're going to put it in this hole right here. It's going to look something like this. Just like that. And now it's spring loaded again. Next, you're going to take your firing pin. This portion right here is going to be facing upward, and it's also going to go into this channel right here. So this part right here is going to go into this hole right here, just like this. Like I said before, this silver part is going to stick upward and go into this channel. So remember, you're pushing down on this plastic piece right here, so this way we can get the firing pin back in. And there you go. Once we've got that part in, once we get this part right here compressed back down, we're going to take our back plate and this part right here and this part right here are going to slide into here and here. And it's going to look something like this. So again, take your pointer finger, you're going to compress this down, and then you're going to feed this part in just like that. And that's it. Once you hear that click, you know that the back plate is in. Next, what we're going to do, take our barrel. This part of the barrel goes into this hole right here from the inside, just like that. Make sure that the barrel block falls into this part right here. Take the thicker side of the recoil spring and put it into this hole right here, just like that. This part, you're going to pull, you're going to compress this way and push downward. So just like that. So there's two things to note before we can get our slide put back on. If you're new to having a P365, there's this piece right here. If this is up like this, then it's going to prevent you from sliding the slide all the way to the rear. So we're going to make sure that that's flat just like that. And the second part is making sure that this lever is in a 6 o'clock position. As you can tell, it's not, and you're pushing it and it feels like it's hitting a wall. So the only way to get that into the 6 o'clock position is by pushing up on the slide lock and holding it there, then pulling this down like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to push the slide lock downward, and then it should stay in that position. What we're going to do from here is put our slide onto these two rails right here and here. And we're going to put those rails into these two openings here and here. It's going to look something like this. And then now what we're going to do is when we slide the slide to the rear, we're going to hold up on the slide lock. So as you can tell, my takedown lever has automatically gone to the 3 o'clock position. If yours hasn't, all you're going to do is just swing that over into the 3 o'clock position, pull the slide to the rear, and then follow forward. Congratulations, you have disassembled, removed the firing pin, cleaned it, and put everything back together. The one other thing I like to do is I like to do a function test. I put the gun in my hand like this, pull the slide back a few times, point the gun in a safe direction, and pull the trigger. Now, put the mag back in, and you're good to go. If you thought this video was helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Every subscriber helps my channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.